Good afternoon. Are you ready for Reading Writing Workshop? Today we're going to have an art focus. We have an artist of the month, and our artist this month is Leonardo da Vinci, but I am not good at sharing my screen with you, so to put up pictures, and I didn't want to print some with my printer because I would use up all my color ink. So we'll work on Leonardo da Vinci when we get back to school. So we will talk about value today, and value is an art word, and it can also be used for how much something costs or things like that also. But value in the art world is how a color can go from light to dark or dark to light, and how you can have many different values of the same color in the same picture. And so what I want you to do is take your paper that looks like this. I'm going to put mine up here. And you want to pick 3 different colors of crayon, and I will find colors that are darker. There we go, so that you'll be able to see them on there. And you'll need your pencil, and you're going to write your name on the top. I should have made a line for that. Sorry, I did not. But anywhere on the top is fine, so I'm going to write my name on here. I may have to put this down on the table and see if that probably would be easier, I think. So I'll move, I still have my pattern blocks out for math today. Whoops. Okay, so I'll move those across, and then I'm going to set this down and move my easel and move my calendar for math. I just still have all the math things out, don't I? Okay, and so this way you can see my paper there, and I have my name on the top. And now it says value color 1. And so what you want to do is take a crayon, any color. I have blue here. And I am going to start near the top, and I'm going to color very lightly. And I'm just going to go back and forth and go very lightly. Oh, very lightly. And now I am going to keep going and make it a little bit darker. Do you see how it's getting a little bit darker? And then I'm going to get a little bit darker yet, and then get really dark. Now, do you see how that works? So it started out on top. I was pressing not very hard, so I made it really light. And then I started to get it darker and darker and darker and darker. And to get it darker, you have to just press really hard. Okay? So you don't want to break your crayon, though, so you want to be careful as you're doing it. But you want to try to start light and go to dark. The next one, should we try dark first and then go to light? I have orange next. You can use whatever color you want, though. And so I'm going to start really dark here first. And if you want, you can take all that space to go from light to dark. And so I'm going to start dark first this time. So this is really dark. I'm pressing really hard. Now I'm getting a little lighter. Not so dark. I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. So mine got skinnier too. Looks almost like a tornado. Anyway, dark on the top, lighter, 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 very light on the bottom. So to get it darker, you need to press harder, but you want to be careful not to break your crayon, okay? If you do break your crayon, it's fine. It's yours for the year, but then you'll just have a broken crayon. So press harder and go back and forth, and then get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter as you go down. Now, the last one, you can do whichever way you want. Do you want to start light and go dark? I found starting light and going dark was easier for me. So I'm going to start light and keep going and get a little bit darker. And then start pushing harder. And now it's getting darker. There we go. So notice how I started light, very light, not pressing very hard, and then it got darker, 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 darker. Now, I want you to think about this a little bit. Would this work with a marker? Do you think it would work with the marker? I'm going to get a marker and try it. You don't have to, but you can if you want. I'm going to do it right next to the blue with the blue, and I'm going to see if I can go lighter to darker. You can kind of do that, but that's harder, isn't it? It's harder to do that with the marker. And you would notice too, if you would press too hard for too long in the same spot, you would get a hole in your paper. I don't like holes in my paper, so I think I'll stick with crayons. Do you think you could use colored pencils? Yes, you could. You could use colored pencils too. So if you have colored pencils at home, you can try it with colored pencils. I did not get my colored pencils out though, sorry. Also, what do you think about paint? Do you think it would work with paint? You were right, it would work with paint too. And so that's what a lot of artists use is paint, and they do value with the paint also. So after you're done experimenting on this paper, you can try it with crayons and markers and colored pencils. If you have paint at home, you can try it with paint. You can do it anything you want on here, okay? Just so that you have 3 different colors, and you can try other things if you want to. And then this is what you have to do. Everybody has to do this. And to go from light to dark or dark to light. And that's called value. Let's say that again. Value. So then you have this paper as well. And you can use this paper if you want to. You don't have to do this activity, but if you want to, you can. So you want to put your name on the top. And then in this space, you can draw a picture using value. So maybe you're doing a sky picture and you want some of the sky to be darker. So you press a little harder, and some of the sky to be lighter. Or you can pretend maybe it's a sunset picture and have some of it darker and some of it lighter. You could do that. You could make any kind of picture you like, but you just have to make sure it has some of the same color being lighter and some of it being darker, and maybe some medium part in the middle too. So that would work, excuse me, really well. And you can do that, and then you can write what you drew here on the lines on the bottom. Your helper can help you write that. So that is our reading writing workshop for today with the art focus. We will do this probably once or twice a month on the Friday. So we kind of get a little bit of art focus in with that. And it's also writing more than reading, because you will write what you draw. Okay, so have a great weekend. This is the last video for today.